Hello, everyone. This is my friend Trevor, my brother Steven, and I'm Bear Truth, and we're on the Super Spectrum. Our first episode is going to be about Jurassic World Rebirth, and maybe not have been the rebirth and rejuvenation and, you know, new life that we really wanted. But I know my friend Trevor actually really understood kind of that the title is more meaningful than just some slapped on extra name like Requiem or what are the other wait till you hear what he says,
Resurrection.
Steve. Resurrection. Wait till you hear what Trevor has to say. I think it's awesome. But that's we're
I
gonna
got a title for it, Jurassic World Cash Grab, but that's just me.
Yeah,
well well you're
not
gonna
too far off.
not too far off, but Trevor has something great to say about it. I will say though, good way to bring it in, Steve. One thing I wanted to say through in this review is that the first sentence in the movie, I noticed this, is let's get this over with. Or let's get this shit over with. I can't fully remember exactly what it was, but
I thought I was watching Final Destination the first few minutes.
Final Destination. Yeah,
Yeah, you'll know what I mean.
yeah. And I feel like just before we start the review that that was the writer or Gareth Edwards or whoever a part of the movie was kind of like, yeah, let's really like get this over with because I feel like maybe they had it in their contract and they probably would have loved to spend time with this movie and put as much heart and dedication as they possibly could, but with how movies work, they probably couldn't have. And then other than that,
Just look at his other movies, Godzilla,
well,
Rogue One.
he's pretty good.
He's good. No, they're good,
And
but they're just good to me.
and
Like
he just had his movie The Creator or Creators, and I haven't seen it, but I think that's more of uh something he really wanted to make, and I think maybe that was he had part of it. He had to make Jurassic World, another one, which, like I said, if you had time to make and as much time as you needed to write, the best script possible, it probably could have been, a dream as well. But especially now that, and especially because now that it's been the sixth movie, this is Jurassic, or no, this is
this is the seventh, I guess, right?
seventh. Okay, yeah. So Jurassic World, part 6 or 7, Rexy Lives. Now that we're there, it's kind of like shoot, and these movies haven't been really good. So, all right, we're gonna review it now. Trevor,
Sounds good.
Trevor did a really good review, quick review. Um, do you want to go first, Trevor?
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you.
So I saw this movie at first as a mystery movie, actually, in the
Yes.
theater. I didn't know what I was about to see. And just on a side note, I guess, I've been to a couple mystery movies and they had never had someone out front tell you, please no phones, please no recording, enjoy the movie. So I knew it was going to be something big, but I was kind of hoping it was going to be, I was kind of hoping it would be F1 just because, I don't know. I was like, I didn't know what else was coming out. That was the only one I had heard of. So as soon as it started, I was like, oh, um, as soon as I saw it was Jurassic World Rebirth, I did want to see that movie too, but I could tell, like you said, as soon as it started, it was not what I was expecting. I was kind of hoping it would be more dinosaurs and epic, but just like a good action movie. But what I was telling you was that by the end of it, I basically had realized it was kind of like an inversion, or as I was calling it, an evil mirror of the original. So like in terms of all the characters and kind of just the whole movie in general, it was like the original flipped on its head. So the original, I got the characters. That's the thing. I couldn't even remember any of the characters' names. So there's like in the beginning, there's that pharma guy. Um, he's wearing all white, like John Hammond in the original. He's kind of like an evil version of John Hammond. Instead of wanting to make this cool park, he wants to make this drug from dinosaur DNA. And instead of the two the two
John
main
Hammond wanted to hook kids on dinosaurs like a drug. There you go. That's a good one.
right. Okay, I'm glad you said that, and you reminded me of the thing I want to say before I get into the evil mirror that I wasn't planning on saying, but there was this element of, like you said, cash grab. I By the end of it, I really was like, okay, this was for kids in a sense for the most part, like, but I feel like even a kid wouldn't even be fully entertained by that. But with that being said, they had that little dinosaur. I forget what it's called, but it's like a little
Dolores.
triceratops. What was it?
Her name, they named it Dolores. I don't remember the species names
Yeah,
too.
so I was working on a thumbnail for this and I put a little baby Yoda. It's kind of
Yeah.
like they were trying to have their baby Yoda moment. And these would be cool toys. These dinosaurs, they would be cool toys, some of them, I guess. Um but back to the evil mirror. So the male, I'm not too familiar with all the characters' names even in the original, but I guess Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler, the two main paleontologists, they were like a perfect masculine and feminine lead role, I would say. Not too crazy romance or anything like that, just like a decent guy and a decent girl. They've got some brains and they've got some courage and whatnot. But it's like they flipped those two and it turned into Scarlett Johansson and that other guy, the paleontologist guy. He's just like a complete
Dork.
kind of pussy. I don't know, pardon my language, but he's a cool guy, but like that's what they wanted her to be, the badass, which, there's that whole thing. I don't get too worked up about that anymore cuz they do that a lot. But where they make like the female overly badass, I don't necessarily have a problem with that per se, but compared to the original two male and female leads, it was like they just made them like a caricature, like I've got the gun and he's got the science.
He's got mints.
Yeah.
Oh my
And so
goodness.
initially I thought that black guy with the beret, the I don't
Yeah.
even know his name either.
Yeah.
Le-
Ooh.
Leclerc, I guess is his name. Who say I won't, no spoiler. But he at first I thought he was sort of the flipped version of
Malcolm.
Ian Malcolm, yeah. But now I'm starting to wonder, is he sort of like Samuel L. Jackson's character flipped on his head? Like he's kind of the voice of reason. I guess it could go either way. Both of those are kind of voice of reason characters. But okay, so what I'm trying to get at is like everyone who was like a smart scientist in the original is like a gunslinging badass in this one. And then everyone who was like a smart, level-headed person in the original is kind of like a I don't know. There really were none in this one. I guess that paleontologist guy in Rebirth, he's kind of a smart voice of reason, but like I said, they kind of made him a little bit of a pansy. And then there's the family, Lost at Sea or whatever. They're like the kids. Um, and those kids were annoying, unlike the ones in the original who are charming and cute.
Oh,
These
yeah.
ones are, although that girl, the youngest girl, she was kind of cute, but she really said nothing. Like so, it's easy to be cute when you're a little kid and you don't say anything. Um, Let me think here if there's anything I'm missing in terms. I mean, there were so with my analysis, I guess there are lot of because there's a lot more characters. I feel like in the original. Well,
Yeah, no,
there's a
they're
lot. There's a lot in this new one, but they're not very memorable. So it doesn't perfectly line up with like the dentist guy who's like trying to steal the eggs or whatever. There's not, unless I'm misremembering or forgetting, I feel like there's not really a character like that that I
Well,
can think of.
how about maybe
you can get clumped in with Big Pharma.
definitely clumped in with Big Pharma, and that's what I was gonna say too. And I'm thinking like how maybe John Hammond. I know John Hammond, and we're gonna get into it because I really luckily started thinking about Jurassic Park again because of this. But uh, I feel like John Hammond and Dennis Nedry are kind of like maybe another. Even though John Hammond and Ian Malcolm are mirrored in that first film, but yeah, maybe it's because they have like similar outfits. One has the Hawaiian, and then one has the white button down. It's not really there, but anyways, yeah, keep
One
going.
last thing, just basically with what you're saying, what made me think of that while I was watching it. I mean, there were a lot of parallels, like in the intro or in the first scene, there's the falling banner in the museum,
Yeah,
just like it's like literally like a mirror. It's like in the end of the original, there's the live T-Rex and the falling banner, and then the beginning of this new one, there's the
oh,
T-Rex bones and a falling banner, and it's but basically what made me think of this all was the pharma guys wearing all white just like John Hammond,
yeah,
and then I guess it's not a perfect analogy, but um
There's parallels, definitely.
there's a lot of parallels, and yeah, I couldn't fully tell who was who based on that, but the military guy, I don't know how to describe him other than the
yeah.
black guy with the beret, but he he was wearing all black, and so it kind of reminded me of Jeff Goldblum's character. But like I said, they're nothing alike. It's like they filled those character roles with someone who's almost like the complete opposite of the original character, and that's mostly my point.
Beautiful. Thank you, Trevor. And I think that people will maybe hopefully rewatch the movie again and appreciate that at least they tried to do something, because to me, like, I didn't see that at all. And then of course when Trevor brought it up, I'm like, clearly that was intended, at least in my opinion. And I think it's pretty inarguable, especially because each character, like he said, does have its own like uh mirror and then opposite. But yeah, I think that's great. I think the movie, if Trevor, do you want to finish your review?
That would I guess so. Going into it, like I said, I had no idea what I was about to watch. I unfortunately I thought it was very funny in a sense of like, oh, how convenient. Like the amount of how convenient moments was funny to me, but that's not what they were going for, I don't think. Which is kind of what made me think it was mostly for kids in the sense that, yeah, like, um, personally, I wanted it to be more kid friendly, actually, in the sense of like, oh, dinosaurs, because I just wanted to be entertained at that point. Maybe I was being a little bit harsh, and maybe it was because I didn't know what I was getting into, but it was not very entertaining to me in the way that it should be. Like, but I definitely wasn't waiting for it to be over. It wasn't that bad. So I think they wanted it to be for kids, but in my opinion, it wasn't enough for kids. Like it really was. I don't know who it was for, in a sense. Initially, I gave it in my mind, or the people I saw it with, I gave it a score of 3.5. Um, I still don't know if I would. I definitely wouldn't lower it, but I don't know if I would raise it either. I think that's a fair score. Um, I might watch it again just for to see the stuff we're talking about, but for entertainment value, I don't think I would watch it again. And last thing I'll say, the dinosaurs were not very badass. They were like I love the idea of like a mutant hybrid gone rogue state or whatever, not really state, but that is super cool to me. But whoever designed them, it was just kind of like cheesy alien movie. It wasn't even like dinosaurs. So the dinosaurs could have been way cooler.
That's interesting you said that. I feel like there was, yeah, that was so underdone, and that was really only done with the D-Rex that's in the trailer, and you're gonna see in the beginning of the movie. But yeah, totally underdone. And meanwhile, that was actually supposed to be Jurassic Park 3 originally, or Jurassic Park 4. What was it, Steven?
Yeah, the hybrids were
The
gonna
hybrids.
come into number 4,
So
but it was gonna be way worse. They were gonna have human hybrids. It was gonna be really bad.
yeah, they kind of fumbled that. Now, Steve, you well, honestly, my review is pretty much it it actually it kept my interest enough. Like Trevor said, I didn't really want to I didn't want to leave, early. I was like seeing where it was going. I knew it was just going to be a pretty dull, not dull, but like pretty formula action movie. Pretty much from that first sentence. And then so my hopes went immediately, or my whatever, my expectations, thanks, really went down, and I didn't really care at that point. But the other thing, I really only want to comment on Jurassic World Rebirth, because I didn't really I'm more of like a narrative guy, and this movie had no narrative. That's why I want to talk about Jurassic Park in a couple minutes, just to talk about something I found recently about it. But the one thing I'll say about Jurassic World Rebirth is the CGI. I think was pretty good. It's just they show so much of it, and it's all during the day, and maybe because the 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 cameras are so good and they're so sharp that against that beautiful scenery that there is, and very sharp looking scenery, the CGI animals, especially in the daytime, stand out a lot. And I think since a lot of in Jurassic Park original, the movie is all at night almost, you could really like get convinced that they're real. But also they probably spent more time on that CGI and wanted to perfect it. But Steve, what did you think? And I'll give the movie a 5 or a 6. What do you think, Steven?
It was a spectacle movie. I mean, I was interested, but I was also blazed while watching it. So that it's. But so I mean, it was a good movie as far as action movies go, but as a Jurassic Park movie or well, I can't say because Jurassic World movies, it's been a steady. They just never need to exist. But the first Jurassic World, in my opinion, is useful as a movie. The park was open, but this movie, like I said, cash grab kind of vibes. But I could see what they were going for. They were trying to, like you said, I saw all the parallels, and in my mind, that was trying to make it different by having mercenaries instead of like characters we give a crap about. But yeah, I mean it's a serviceable movie, but definitely not anything I would recommend necessarily or go out of my way to watch again, like you said. So what are we like? You said a 6, he said a 3.5, but what are we doing out of 10 or 5?
10.
10.
Boy, yeah. So all right, so yeah, his rating is pretty accurate. Like I'd say 4-ish, 3.5-ish. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. It's just it's a popcorn movie.
That's a good. Yeah, I'll say a 5. It's a popcorn movie. It's nothing more. I mean, well, it's not nothing more now that we know because Trevor. Thank you.
Mhm.
But the oh, and I want to say Jurassic World, to me, that was the biggest letdown ever because that came out. And I like Jurassic Park Lost World. I like Jurassic Park 3, and I really want to like Jurassic. And Jurassic Park's my favorite movie, the original, but or equal to all my other favorites. But Jurassic World, I was really let down by, and I uh, I would like to see it again, but I also know that that's kind of a popcorn movie, and
Yeah.
I would the original Jurassic World, the first one that came out. I haven't seen. Ironically, I've only seen the original Jurassic Park and the original or the first Jurassic World. I actually haven't seen Jurassic Park 2 or 3, and I haven't seen the other
Watch
two.
those. Don't watch the Jurassic Worlds
Yeah,
after this one.
fair enough. But I would give the original. I keep saying original. The first Jurassic World, I would give a 5 because I basically what you said about it, like,
It has a reason
um,
to exist. The park is finally open. That's what I've been
yeah.
wanting to see since Jurassic Park.
And does 2 and 3 of Jurassic World, does that connect to this one? Like, how did it go from the park being open to now
Jurassic
dinosaurs?
World, the Indominus shuts down the park, and then the second one after Jurassic World, the first one, it's the park has been left abandoned. So like after that incident with the Indominus Rex, they just never like. I'm like, damn, that shit really, because they got sued out their ass. Like all those lawsuits.
Hmm.
People didn't want to go, I guess, so they were like, it's a loss. So InGen just shut down the whole park. So they just let the dinosaurs roam on the island in the next one in Fallen Kingdom. But then there's a volcano, so the plot thickens. Who
Yeah.
cares?
Now, I don't know if this enters into spoiler territory, but it still has to do with the original one or the Jurassic World Rebirth. Um, I thought when it started, it still was really weird and cheesy, but they're driving through New York and there's like a dying dinosaur in the street, or like,
That's you're right. That's explained in the following Jurassic World
okay,
movies. Yeah,
I was gonna say I thought that's more where this was going, and although it
that's
would
what we
have
all
been,
wanted.
yeah, it could have been, although it probably would have been really cheesy, it would have been really entertaining in what I thought I was about to see. Like, oh, there's dinosaurs in the world, like,
Well, that's
um,
what Jurassic World Dominion was supposed to be. And then off camera between movies, they're like, "Oh, we captured all the dinosaurs and put them on like a bunch of like areas where humans don't inhabit." I'm like, "Why did the I know why. The trailers literally fooled everybody into thinking there'd be dinosaurs out in the open, but that's very little of the movie and they're very against, or at least the old directors were very against putting dinosaurs out into the world and wreaking mayhem, I guess, because they don't want dinosaurs to be monsters. That's my thinking of why they're so against dinosaurs wreaking havoc in the cities. They don't want to portray dinosaurs as monsters. They do a little bit, but they don't want to like make them like Godzilla, basically, which is I wanted that after a while of seeing the same thing of dinosaurs just on islands. I wanted to see dinosaurs like fucking shit up in the cities and eating people left and right in the mainland, but I guess that's not the directions that they wanted to go. So they did what they wanted and they went back to the drawing board of putting dinosaurs on islands. So
right.
you know.
That um reminds me of what Mike has told me about his analysis of the original Jurassic Park. But I feel like if you're gonna make a rebooted franchise, like, you're gonna have a hard time making it as good as the original, so you might as well make it like, cause that's the other thing that I completely forgot about, that very first scene. This is definitely a spoiler, but it's the first scene. So when the Snickers wrapper, like, do
Final
you
Destination.
yes, exactly. You mentioned that, but I forgot that. Like, what was that? I guess that was a little bit of backstory. But what I thought was cool about that, and I forgot, similar to the dinosaur dying in the street for whatever reason, that would have been a really cool direction to go. Because I thought it was about to be like a horror movie with the intro logo, with like the blood and the scary music. It was almost like
Beginning of the
Psycho.
movie was hyping me up. I got hyped when that first scene
Yes,
happened. I was actually getting into it, and then it kind
I
of just
I thought it was going to, because the first one is kind of like a horror movie with the dinosaurs. Like, it's scary.
well, the book
Um,
is like really a horror movie. Shit, that's why Jurassic
so
book.
I thought that's where they were gonna go, but they didn't. And from there, it was like, I told someone it's like a Ruth Goldberg machine of how convenient. Like, the entire movie is like everything goes perfectly for the script or whatever, like perfectly, all the way to, spoiler, the briefcase getting bitten off and her getting the briefcase and being like,
Right. That exact part got bitten off. Right.
yeah. And then the, I wish I knew his name, but it says it's Lamerck, but I do not remember that guy being named Lamerck. But the military guy on the boat, who on the boat, he gets eaten by the monster. He sacrifices himself to the monster, but then didn't, like, he
He
is
was
alive.
supposed to die. They showed it to a test audience, and they wanted him to live. That's why they brought him back.
Yeah.
He literally was in his contract. He said, "I want to die at the end of this movie." Because he was trying to just get out of the series, but they're like, "No, wait, we can use him and Scarlett Johansson in
Oh,
another freaking movie together." So that's literally what it is. It's
No, please make this a one-off. It needs to be a one-off.
no. What do you mean? This movie's gonna
it's
make $1 billion.
it's called Rebirth, so
Right? They're gonna be more. You want to talk about the plot happening for the plot's sake. There's no other movie in the franchise that does that more so than the second Jurassic World movie, Jurassic World Dominion. That movie is literally just the plot.
No, that's Fallen Kingdom.
Or Fallen, you're right, Fallen Kingdom.
Hmm.
I'm sorry, they're just so generic. Fallen Kingdom, the
Yeah.
second one, that movie is the prime example of plot happening because plot says so. Like everything in that movie was like it's laughable. That was the most laughable one out of the series. Dominion just put me to sleep almost. Like I didn't fall asleep, but I was like getting there. I'm like, so this movie was a step up from those. It was more entertaining, but it's soulless in a way.
It was very predictable. It was not the smartest movie, other than what Trevor pointed out, and so bored me. And also, like, plot hole, or not plot holes. The conveniency of the, for the plot. And remember, they would shoot the dinosaurs with the injection gun, and then it would parachute right into their hands. Total joke. Trevor pointed out to me right when he saw the movie. He had like 10 plot conveniences that he remembered. Starting from the Snickers wrapper, ending with the guy's hand. It was obviously, stuff that kids won't think of, and people who are just going to take their kids there and have a good time. It doesn't matter, and you know
They briefly also explain why that dinosaur was in the city, Bub. That was a dinosaur from a zoo that escaped. That's why they
right.
explained.
interesting. Yeah, I didn't.
But
I
even
was wondering.
so, imagine you're driving in New York City and you see an elephant dying on the street. Like,
That
Right.
could
I
have
guess,
been the most interesting thing ever. You know,
yeah,
like,
No, it's
I
just
guess
a
that's what they
side
were
part.
trying to portray, is like, oh, people are over dinosaurs. Like, but that's also unrealistic. Like, it's
We're
not like
still
people
talking about
don't,
dinosaurs.
yeah, and people is animals exist, and it's not like kids are like, oh, animals are boring. It's like, no, kids go to the zoo every year, like,
yeah,
for all of eternity.
it's
Um,
it's not a good analogy for, kids getting bored with like, things, right? Or whatever.
Maybe it's an analogy for us getting tired of the franchise because I'm
Right.
getting to that point. Honestly, I'm like every time I'm so tired. I'm like I'm not gonna really care about the next movie, but I see dinosaurs on the big screen. I'm like, take my money, bro. Because you know why? There's not really any other dinosaur movies we're getting out there. So Jurassic Park has found its pigeonhole of just they will make money no matter what because we show you dinosaurs. So we are still interested in dinosaurs. So that part I also was like, yeah, that's bullshit, but whatever.
And I don't even want that. I want the dinosaurs as little as possible so they're really impactful and it's suspenseful. But I
Hell
also,
no, I want dinosaurs
well,
every second.
no, I want, if the dinosaurs look real,
Right, that's
then
also a
that's
thing.
what I really want.
They
So
they didn't look that great.
Steve said a 4.
Yeah, it's
Trevor said a 5, or Trevor said a 3.5. I said a 5. Interesting. Let's, if you guys want, we could talk about something we like more, which is Jurassic Park, and I could start us off real quick. And what I would like to know, whatever you guys think. Some of it's more far fetched than the rest, but so the original film is, like I said, one of my favorite movies of all time because of the suspense and the look. And me and Steven, by the way, that was our favorite movie growing up. That and like Star Wars, but Jurassic Park is what we watched the most. Jurassic Park, Harry Potter, and Star Wars. But so the movie, the original Jurassic Park, has themes of God versus man. Now, it might not make sense at first, but like duality versus polarity. I'll explain it more, and then maybe oneness and polarity.
Oh,
But
I can explain it. Um, uh, a drop of water. Notice how the water, it went another direction. That is chaos.
right, the chaos. So,
That was good.
which one did that refer to, Steve? Duality or
Yeah, the second one.
okay. So, and then also feminine and masculine. Uh, Trevor touched on that. The perfect. They even wear. Alan's wearing red. First time you see him,
They have Care
which
Bear colors
which
for
is
the kids.
fire for a man.
Yeah.
And then she's wearing water. Of course, water is what the
She
woman.
wears pink.
Well, she wears pink
Well, she
later,
has blue. Yeah, she has blue. You're right.
but the pink is when she has the masculine.
Yeah, that's the fantasy. That was when she was like, "Oh, like dinosaurs are," but then
She's becoming whole by the end. She has both red and blue basically, and he does too. He starts the red and blue like Jesus in the road.
he starts off blue. Yeah.
Exactly. But now that's nothing. The movie also covers this, which is the main thing: control and order versus freedom and chaos theory, right? Because so and the film is deserving of like a whole proper prepared analysis, but I did come to some really like concise ideas. So Ian is
Best character.
he's my favorite character. He represents freedom and chaos. Okay, he wears black. All right, he's the yin, and this is the stretch, one of the stretches, but Yin. Okay, and we're going to go into John Hammond, who's in white. He's the control and order. The
Wow, they did that on purpose.
the active, yep, the active and I wrote it down. He's the active and projective. Ian is the passive and receptive. But like I said, chaos and freedom. Don't want to put too much, but John or Yang Hammond. So Ian and Yang Hammond. So yin and yang, yin and yang. All right, because it's pronounced yang, not yang. But anyways, and they're white and black, obviously. But and before I go into the meaning of it really more, Ian actually has a teardrop, which looks just like the teardrop in the yin and yang symbol. And then in the center of the teardrop is literally a circle dot, just like in that.
Where's he have that as a necklace?
He has it as his necklace. And then John actually has an amber, which is like a teardrop, and then the black mosquito inside of it. So it's a clear white amber. Oh yes. They totally planned this, I think. The movie is the deepest, one of my favorite movies. It's very deep, but could go on for hours. But now, so of course, Ian talks about chaos theory, right? And he wants um, he wants like natural order, right? Which is really freedom for dinosaurs to go extinct. So he wants them to be left alone. He wants the chaos to take over. He wants the freedom to for them to die. But that's that's natural order, right? So in a way, it has he's the black, but it has that white dot of order in the center, right? So each opposite contains the seed of the other in it, and they're not real opposites. They're actually relative to each other. So they're on a spectrum like this show, but and like all of us. But so the uh, the the actual he wants control, like he's like, no, let's let them just be extinct, right? Like they had their chance. So he wants his way, right, which he thinks is free, but in kind of it's just like like we all
Condors. If I were to bring condors back to life, you wouldn't have anything to. No, 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 no. Dinosaurs. They weren't deforestation or a building of a dam. Dinosaurs. They had their chance, and nature selected them for extinction.
That's so good.
I love him.
but they basically both want their way, but they also want to be free to have their way, and it infringes on each other's, so it limits each other's freedom to have their own way. So, but now it's very quick from here on, because I feel like I kind of got it out, but so yeah, he wants them to be free to extinct and reproduce if they had the opportunity, but chaos theory, nature's order, um, and
What did you lift the skirts up on all the dinosaurs and find out?
beautiful line. Like, see, like that the movie is a master.
That movie's so genius, yeah. Like it's the complete opposite of this, like you said.
Yeah.
Oh god, this is dumbed down 2025.
So he wants control over man to not make dinosaurs. So like where like man's not nature anymore. So, but that's his, his belief in what should be, it's his order, it's his rule, what he wants. So, but Ian, okay, already said that. Awesome, awesome. And now just Hammond. Hammond's is pretty obvious. He wants to control the life and the species of dinosaurs, right?
But Walt Disney of dinos.
He wants to control nature and the dinosaurs by controlling the species destiny and their place in the park, right? He wants them to be there in the park. He wants to control them, and he wants them to stay in the park. He wants them to be controlled, nature, and but he wants to be free from nature and the lawyers to act out his own will, and freedom to make the dinosaurs and allow all others to see it, which is kind of free, nice free. He does say that that's nice in the
Yeah, they
movie.
can have a coupon day.
Oh my goodness. But once again, control over nature in making the extinct come back. And already said all this. Awesome. Let me see. Right. And
We're gonna make a ton of money on this place.
right. So all things are dual, have two sides. The polarity. One person's rule or order gives them freedom, but may infringe on the others. And so that was it. But it's reminding me that with what Trevor said, it's kind of like it's mirroring. I feel like the people who made this movie might have known how beautiful and deep that one is. And like Trevor said, you can't follow that up with, I mean, like it's hard to, like, first, everything about the movie's perfect. The symbolism, the writing, the look, the suspense,
the effect.
So like, yeah, you could try, but like it's never gonna. So
it's lightning in a bottle. I'd say
it's lightning in a bottle. Perfect. Yeah, it's like that already happened. Try to do it completely different because you can't do any of that again. But it is the mirroring in the characters, at least with Trevor and saying.
That's why I just want them to do something completely fucking different at this point. Like that's why we all wanted the dinosaurs in the mainland wreaking havoc, and they pissed everybody off with Jurassic World movies. Just like they kept giving us the same shit. So, but it works obviously because that's you milk the same cash cow. So, yeah.
I wish I would have seen. I'm definitely going to watch them, but Jurassic Park 2 and 3
Yeah,
because
Lost World used to be my favorite. The second Jurassic Park, for like when I was like 8 to freaking like 13, I thought Lost World was my favorite. And a lot of people there, Lost World became a cult film because a lot of people do look at Lost. It's also the only other movie that was directed by Steven Spielberg in the franchise. So I'm like, damn,
interesting.
that's why I probably was like, damn, these movies are such a tie for me. But then the more I thought about it growing up, I'm like, all right, no, Jurassic Park, the first one really is the better film. But Lost World, entertainment wise, in a lot of ways, I was like, this is what I really wanted to see, like people running from freaking dinosaurs, which you get a lot more of that in Jurassic Park The Lost World. So
Hmm. Yeah. Um, the symbolism I wasn't too familiar with. Like you just explained it. That is a very, very true. I don't even think it's that much of a stretch what you were saying with the yin and yang or yin and yang. Because, yeah, especially knowing that if it's pronounced yang, Ian and John is like very close to yin and yang. Like it's not even that much of a stretch. And they were literally wearing black and white, and they have a teardrop in the amber. Um, but in terms of just like a film, that's more so how I've perceived it. Yeah, like perfect film. It's funny, wholesome, and parts very scary at other parts. I recently saw. I haven't seen it probably nowhere near as many times as you guys have seen it, but I've seen it a few times, and I saw it once recently. Um, and yeah, like it's funny. As a kid, I actually didn't get too scared by things that are meant to be scary. Um, I just got scared by like weird, creepy things, like ominous things. But as I get older, I get more scared of things that are meant to be scary, like a T Rex, crushing you under a Jeep, because now I have the understanding of how scary that would be. Um, just from like little interactions in real life, like animals, like being unpredictable, imagining a giant animal and then a giant reptile, like,
you're
and
at
then
its
like,
mercy. Yeah, literally.
yes. And on top of that, aside from that, um, the special effects, yeah, Mike was saying the other day, that's probably peak CGI
They've never even been
because,
able to do it better than that, and that's from '93. And you know what it is? Because I used to watch the making of Jurassic Park every
mm-hmm,
day, every other day. They literally said they spent at least 2 or 3 years just perfecting the like effects for that movie, and it totally, you can tell, like ILM was on their fucking game. Like ILM is what made the original Star. People don't even realize ILM is that old. They were like in the original Star Wars movies. There was no CGI, but they were using the magic, written magic of effects, and they
mm-hmm,
brought that element to the original Jurassic Park. And I feel like after that, they slowly are more like, oh, just throw it in the computer. Who gives a shit? Like, just pump it out. Like, there wasn't as much heart put into it, I guess, or
yeah.
effort. So that first Jurassic Park movie, the effects are like untouched still.
Yes, it looks real, and that's the thing about films and effects that I'm realizing is, I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory with just like the uncanny valley and stuff. Like the to me, the reason those look so real, aside from the hours and hours they put into it and like the subtlety they use, it's like in. I thought of this while I was watching Jurassic World Rebirth. That scene where he touches the Titanosaurus's leg and it like
That
twitches.
that was their one scene of trying to use a practical effect. I feel like I'm like they have to always try to fit one practical effect.
But it
Right.
kind of stood out as like
What
thing.
it did, but okay, so that's a good. I didn't think about that. So that was a practical effect, or you think it was?
I think it was. I'm not confirmed, but I know I only say that because the first Jurassic World movie, the only practical effect in that movie was with the Brachiosaur, so like the laying down like sauropod, and they were
Right.
like, "Oh, look at how cool our practical effect is in this." I'm like, "It's cool. Can you do more of that?" Because that's why the CGI also worked in the first Jurassic Park. It was used sparingly.
Yeah.
They didn't rely on it like a freaking crutch. It was used because they were like, all right, the things we literally physically can't create and have a T-Rex chasing Gallimimus, we're gonna have to throw that in the computer. But if we could show the T-Rex, like without using CGI, that's why we got that whole rain scene where they built a giant animatronic T-Rex. Like,
Right.
it's just a whole other ballpark. I don't know.
Right.
It's a
So
different type of art.
with that, so whether that was practical or computer, that dinosaur leg, either way, like the way that it was hyper realistic and you could see every single crack in it, like, yes, that's realistic in a sense, but like I said, it's hyper realistic. So it's like, and we're so used to all that CGI now that it's almost unbelievable now. It's not even believable. Like, things are so, the CGI,
Another
it's,
parallel of the first Jurassic Park where they see the Brachiosaur, the first dinosaur, and it's a dinosaur.
yeah,
Trying to
yeah.
convince you, and they're like, dude, we see it. Like that's really a dinosaur. Like you bought it immediately, and this one you have to like, you're like, eh.
Yeah. And then they did the weird, not to go back to the OG, the rebirth, but like I did want to mention that weird sex scene or whatever that was. Like I actually thought that was going to be really cool because that is like a cool dinosaur, I guess. But they had to make it weird with the freaking like they like rub up on each other for no reason.
That was trying to again make them not monsters. Like that was I saw that as they're like just they're. And that was one thing I did appreciate about this movie is that they did act like animals, like the T-Rex when it's sleeping and it rolls, spoilers, sleeping and it's rolls over and it's like going for them. Like it took its time. Like they didn't like make it just like immediately an evil thing trying, like it got a drink of water. It did like its thing. So I was like appreciating that they're still trying to make dinosaurs not movie monsters. But at this point, like I said, like you guys have hybrids in these movies now. Just go fucking all like. But I mean, like, and for the hybrids, like I'm glad they separated, but I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. It's yeah.
No, I'm with you. Um yeah, the original, like you said, lightning in a bottle. Um did you so Mike, did you want to refrain from what you told me? You had a different perspective on it. Did you not want to talk about that at all?
I think I'll probably
I
yeah.
could put it in different wording. What about you can also like, I don't know if you want to cut this or whatever, but sort of like,
Hold on. Um, do you want to save it for another video? Do you want to
sure, we
save?
can.
Because I was thinking of possibly have so the idea for the show is to have other like so we have a group of really funny and cool friends who hardly get together anymore, but they're all so unique and they have a lot to offer perspective wise. If it's the same thing I was going to say said earlier, I do want to say that at one point, but I just don't know what the right time would be. But we'll do that, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I just it's basically like what you were saying about, I won't go into what you're saying,
Mhm.
but um just with the order and chaos, that basically sums it all up. It was just in different terminology, and um that is what it's all about basically. Yeah, order and chaos. And it's interesting in the end. I guess this is what I'll say based on what you're saying that I thought of. It's interesting by the end of it. It's like, who's, yes, Ian Malcolm was right about the dinosaurs, but
Spoiler.
it's not like John Hamm. Neither of them are bad. It's like John Hammond's not a bad guy in a sense. He wanted to, like you said, he's like Walt Disney of dinosaurs. He wants to make something that is awesome for everyone. And yes, he wants to make money. I assume I don't fully remember that much what his motivations truly were, but it seemed like, from my recollection, he wanted to make an amazing experience for humanity.
Movie version, for sure, is what you're saying. Book version, complete asshole. So he was way more about the money. So that's why I feel like they did that in the movie. They didn't want you to hate John Hammond. They will outright.
You could like both of them and understand both of their perspectives and why they would want to have their own rule and their own order and their freedom to do it in this movie. And that's it. Sorry, in the original movie, and that's why I think it a little bit of an upgrade maybe from the book, because that idea
He was completely unlikable in the book, John Hammond.
that idea about order and one's own way is totally, it's at the crux of existence, right? Every single person wants, I want to be king for a day, or everyone wants to rule the world. So yeah, that's a a huge part of this Jurassic Park movie, and glad that it's brought up in there.
And similarly, parallel to John Hammond, Ian Malcolm, although he's right, he's also kind of a dick about it. Like, he's extremely charismatic and funny, but when I recently watched it, I remember being like, this guy's kind of a douche. Like,
There's supposed to be dinosaurs on this dinosaur tour, aren't there?
yeah,
I really hate that,
Yeah,
man.
neither of them are perfect. But he's like the artist, like he's like, well, even though he's a physicist, but that's the thing, he's got both. It's really cool. But he's like, like the cool hippie guy, right? All about freedom, bro. But he's like trying to, no, like, no, you can't do it that way, We can't do that, So yeah, they're very like, they're real people, They're contradictory. It's awesome.
Now, one thing I forget that's probably kind of a goofy question to ask on a podcast about the movie, but I totally forget why. So these two paleontologists, they're just two colleagues, and they're brought to the island to consult.
John Hammond funds their digs, and if they go out on the thing and they give a good word for Jurassic Park, they're gonna get set for the rest of their lives.
And they're the best in both of their. So he's an archaeologist and she's a
He's a paleontologist.
She's a paleontologist.
No, Alan's a paleontologist. She's a paleobotanist.
I'm
But because you said archaeology, it's different.
Okay.
Yeah.
So paleontology is animals,
That's prehistoric life.
Right,
Archaeology is prehistoric human life.
and they're the top of their they're like the best
Respected field, yeah.
Exactly.
And the kids are John Hammond's grandkids or something.
They explain why they get dumped on him. His daughter is having surgery, and she basically is like, take the kids for the weekend, have a good weekend at Jurassic Park. And meanwhile, it's gonna scar him for life.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Fair enough. Yeah, that makes sense.
Like there's plot holes in the first movie, but they're not. They're like I mean, there's one or two big ones, but the movie's so good as a movie that you overlook them.
Yeah.
They pretty much cover their bases on a lot of stuff. All the things you would care about as a moviegoer, at
Right.
least. Yeah.
If we go away with anything, you could basically skip Jurassic Park Rebirth or Jurassic World Rebirth, and you can maybe go and watch Jurassic Park maybe in a new way, but also because, guys, it's like The Shining. It's super deep. It's a puzzle. It's an amazing movie. It's got everything. It's got smarts, but it's also got beauty and scares. So if you guys haven't seen Jurassic Park, it's not like Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, and Harry Potter. You don't have to watch 5 movies to really get invested. Jurassic Park, you could stop right there. Jurassic Park Lost World, or whatever it's called. Really good movie. Really good movie. Also really deep, but Probably
There's more problems adding up.
yeah, just watch Jurassic Park. Just watch like the colors, like yeah, like oh my gosh. There that movie it's uh, it's like yeah,
Art.
total art. Masterpiece.
Cinematic art.
Now, another masterpiece, new masterpiece. I'm thinking Superman.
I haven't watched it.
It's gonna be good.
Hopefully, I'm
I think so.
hoping and praying.
Because this guy's James Gunn, and that's
I'm
gonna
not
be.
in any rush to watch it. I'll be honest.
I'll say we wrap up in about 4 minutes if you guys are okay. If not, we'll keep going. It's fine. But we'll have another hour within this free 2 hours that we get from StreamYard a month. 1 hour for this review, another hour for Superman. That's what's coming up next. If you guys want to talk about your love for Superman, give a little preview or give a little preview on James Gunn. I love Scooby Doo. I love he's a good director. I've seen
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy
Fucking
is
awesome,
great.
yeah.
I want to see Guardians of the Galaxy 3, but I loved 1 and 2.
3 is awesome. A lot of people didn't like it. I loved it.
I've heard great things about 3. I've heard bad things too, but I've heard mostly good things.
I loved it.
Yeah, I'm sure I would too. I love James Gunn. He almost got canceled.
The Suicide Squad was amazing. That's his Suicide Squad, and it's better than the first one. Even though I actually was one of the only people on the planet who liked the first Suicide Squad.
He survived the cancellation. Suicide Squad.
How do you almost get canceled?
Suicide Squad. I didn't really enjoy, but it was deep. I actually the first Suicide Squad that was like really like a popcorn movie. I thought that was cool, but I saw it in 3D, and there was a lot of like action. It was actually, but Steve really liked the second Suicide or like James Gunn Suicide Squad. I would watch it again. But that movie's actually deep with like the evil villain or whatever. But yeah, the I don't know how he got canceled. It was some allegation that ended up being baseless, maybe. But
good.
You guys want to talk about Superman for a few minutes?
Nothing about the movie. I'm glad. I wasn't aware who directed it, but I'm glad you brought that up. That does give me more hope that it'll be good. I'm hoping it'll be good. I am a huge Batman fan. I'm not a huge. I've always been a DC guy. But I never really was super into Superman. But I am, as an adult, he's growing on me just because he's Superman. Like, I used to think it was corny that he's got all these superpowers and he's so amazing, but I've just recently started to think about, like, well, he's a superhero. That's kind of what the point is, to be super. And
he was my first favorite
Right.
superhero when I was a kid.
It's how
Right.
yeah. It was your first favorite superhero. I remember that.
Then it was Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Forever it was Spider-Man, but DC, my favorite would be Batman, and then Marvel would be Spider-Man.
So,
that's your favorite. With
my newfound love of Superman, or newfound interest at least, I am super excited for this, and I like that it's not super dark. Like, it doesn't look super dark.
Yeah, it's not Snyder.
No, I think it's not edgelord. It's like totally what I'm hearing from it, it's a comic book movie. A very, very comic book movie. And it's like embracing that, just like now more people are embracing Superman, let's love him, because I feel like he's got a lot to teach us. Superman is he's a gentle giant, and I love that.
He's cool.
Yes, we will see. And I'm excited for crypto, I guess. I mean, hopefully, we'll see. That I'm keeping an open mind, but we will see.
No, yeah. Crypto, thank you for reminding me. I love crypto. I can't wait. All right, we are going to see. Oh yeah, even though it's CGI, it looks like CGI, but that's okay. Who cares? Got to suspend our disbelief or whatever it's called.
It's vegan.
Oh, it's vegan because of what? Because
they're not using a real dog. They could be using
okay. Right on. No more animal actors against their will. All right. Thank you so much, Trevor, Steven, audience. You guys are amazing. I hope you guys had fun. I had a blast. More to come. let's be loving to everyone we see, and let's get it in return. All right. Have a good day. Bye. Thank you
You
guys.
too.
Bye, Trevor. See you.
Bye.